وَلَقَدْ أَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكَ آيَاتٍ بَيِّنَاتٍ.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulullah. Before you guys say anything, a common misconception is when people come to a room like this, they think that this is the bathroom. But in reality, it's not technically the bathroom, because a bathroom is a place where you use the bathroom. So where we are right now, hopefully no one uses the bathroom here, but we don't make bathrooms, so this is fine for us to say Bismillah, alhamdulillah, whatever it is. So this is not technically the bathroom, so don't be weirded out or anything like that. We're in the bathroom right now. First things first, we're going to talk about something that without it, your salah cannot be valid, which is of course the wudu. Something that's supposed to be so basic, but even I find myself learning something new every time I revisit this topic and learn something new about it. And today we're just going to review. Maybe you know something, maybe you don't know something. It's just going to be a review, just in case we might have a concept or something that's not clear. First thing, we always start in the wudu with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, because the Prophet ﷺ says there is no wudu without saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So when you start saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, of course when you say the Bismillah and having the intention for the wudu, you don't do it out loud. You don't say Nawaitu an awaddi li salat al-isha. No, it's all in your heart. However, even if you say Bismillah on the bottom, Bismillah ar-Rahman, when you start, this is also fine. So I would have one volunteer, which is Muhammad. He'll come and I'll stand right here. The reason why we're using these sinks and not those sinks, because it's more common for someone to have this type of sink in their house, not that type of sink. Inshallah, we have a nice house in the future where we can have everything according to the sunnah or whatever it is. First things first, a common thing that people always do, they waste so much water when they make wudu. So if you're someone who doesn't know how can I limit myself in my wudu first, here's a trick that I thought of, is that if you really see yourself as wasting so much water, grab a bucket or a tunjara, whatever you want, a pot, you fill it up with whatever water you think you're going to need, and then you make wudu with that pot. So you have a limited amount of water. And then when you see at the end of your wudu how much water you have left, you know what, I don't need the other water. So you start limiting yourself in the water. Or you can just go up to the sink and put it as low as you can possible, so that you can make your wudu like that. It doesn't have to be all the way up like that, because you're wasting water at the end of the day. And it's going to be difficult for you to keep turning on and turning off what you're doing. So we said we're going to start off with what? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And we're going to start off with what? The intention. And we're going to start. What is the first body part we start with? Of course, everyone knows? Yes. The hands. Now I'm going to go over to the sink. I don't know if you guys can see him or not. Try to, look in the mirror. So the first things first is that right now what we're going to discuss is the sunnah, the way that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used to perform wudu. Now I'm not going to specify what makes your wudu valid or not, because technically, right now the sunnah is to wash your hands 3 times. Now you can, for your hands or any other part of your body where it says 3, you can do it 1 and it'll still count. However, you will not be following the sunnah. So what we're talking about today is the sunnah that is, authentic. We're not talking about anything that's not authentic. And I'm not going to talk about things that invalidate your wudu. So I'm not saying, it doesn't count if you do 1 time in your hand. But rather I'm saying, let's do the sunnah way. So the first thing would be your hands 3 times, which he did. And the hands are from the tips of the fingers to the bottom of the hand, which is the wrist. So this is the 3. You're going to do your right hand maybe together 3 times each. Then you're going to go to what? Your mouth. When you do your mouth, when you're going to the ahadith, before you start, it's kind of interesting, because some of the ahadith, because there's many ahadith about the wudu, many of them say that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ would put water in his mouth, then his nose, and then spit it out, and then in his mouth, and then his nose, then spit it out, then in his mouth, then his nose, and spit it out. So it's like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, not 3, 3. Even though you do have, it can still be 3 to the mouth and then 3 to the nose, but it's just kind of interesting that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ would narrate in that way, and the Sahaba would describe the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ doing it in that way, where you do 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And the way that you do it is with your mouth. You'll rinse it, you'll try to gargle as much as you can and spit it out. And with your nose, you're going to put it in as much as you can and take it out with your left hand. So if you can demonstrate that to us. I don't know if you guys can see, but try to. Exactly, that's perfectly how you do it. If you want to do it that way, if you want to do the traditional way, or the way that we grew up with 3 in the mouth, 3 in the nose, this is okay, it's possible. Next is going to be what? Where is the face? Show me where the face is on this letter. Yeah, no, just show me what is his face?
It's from his forehead to his chin.
Okay, that's from up and down.
Yeah.
Very good. So the Prophet says to describe the face from the ears and from the top to the bottom. What about if you have a beard?
Yeah.
The Prophet ﷺ said in the hadith that the beard is a part of the face. So if you have a short beard like me, you're going to go to the scalp, whatever the skin. The scalp is from there. To the skin of the beard. However, if you have a long beard like Muhammad or people that's longer, it's not necessarily the case where you have to go and cover every hair. Rather, you put your fingers through the beard itself. But the beard is a part of the face, as the Prophet ﷺ said. And you're going to do it 3 times from this to this, all around. Go ahead. Okay, now we have completed the face. And we're going to talk about some ahadith concerning the wudu in general in the end. We're not going to mention them right now. After the face is what? The arms. What is the arms? Who can tell me what the arms is?
The wrist and the elbow.
And then you go back.
The wrist to the elbow, who agrees with that?
It's fingertips between your fingers.
Fingertips. From even though technically you already did your hands, you're going to do them again with your arms. It's from the fingertips to the elbows. And this is even a common question because we're also, the way we're describing wudu is for men and women. Because technically, there is no difference between the wudu of a man and a woman, except for some little cases when wearing the hijab. But technically, when we go to the rulings of wearing the haqqa or a turban, it comes to the same thing. But anyways, if there's nail polish, something that's preventing, or paint, say for example you're a painter, if it's preventing the skin or from getting wet, this has to be removed beforehand. But anyways, from the fingertips to the elbows 3 times each. Now, when you're doing it, as Muhammad's going to show, this is your arm so you can show everyone. Try to get the whole arm from here to here wet. So don't just get water right here and just expect it to go here. Even though when you're trying to minimize water, you can make it work. But really try to get, also, oh, I forgot to say, when you have a watch, just be on the safe side and take your watch off. You don't have to be Superman, getting all the angles and, take off your watch, make wudu, put it back on. Don't be lazy. Same thing with the hair. We're going to get to the hair later on, how some people take the easy way out with it, but we're going to get to that later. So go with your arms. Papa. He's getting his fingertips to his elbows every single time. Fingertips to the elbows every single time. That's good.
You have to get between the fingers?
In between the fingers too, and that's also something that we're going to discuss with the toes, that you should try to get in between the toes.
I have a question.
Nah.
So, how about, do we have...
I mean, some people have some techniques where they put the water here and they go down like this. But it's all about getting, just the main concept of wudu is getting the body parts wet. Whatever you want to do it without, wasting too much water, you do it in that way. There's no special style where the Prophet used to do it. No water like that. Okay, so after the arms, what do you have after that? Hair. Now we're going to get into something that's a little more than just the common definition of how to do the hair, which is just wash it. Now I'm going to break it down into 3 categories of the way you're going to do your hair. The first is for someone who has short hair or no hair. The second is for someone who has long hair, whether he's a male or female. And the third way is if the person has what? A haqqa or a turban or a mandila, a scarf. These are the 3 categories. For the first, and this is the most popular, something that many ahadith talk about, is literally, you can't use the same water that maybe your hand's still wet from the arms. This is going to be new water. You're going to go from the top of your head all the way back to the bottom and then right back up. This is for who? People who have short hair. Okay? You see how it is? Front, back, all the way like this. Now stop. Now we have a complaint. Now, mashallah, all of us have nice hairstyles, right?
What's the differentiation of long hair and short hair? Where do you get that?
We're going to see right now. Now, even forget the long hair. Say you have a hairstyle like me, even though, whatever, some people like it, some people don't. Ahmad has a nice haircut. Ahmad has a nice hairstyle. Many of you have nice hairstyles. I don't want to mess up. I'm in the middle of work. I put, comb in it for a while. I don't want to mess it up. Now, are you sacrificing your wudu if you don't do it in that way? Rather, you're not, because we have authentic narrations from the Prophet ﷺ, and we have authentic sayings, or you say true sayings from Sufyan al-Thawri and other Ibn Taymiyyah, many scholars who talk about this. For those who have hairstyles and fear that they combed and they don't want to mess up the hair, because of course looking nice and tidy is from some things from Iman. So he would wash his hair in the direction of his hair growing. So for example, I have hair that's going back. He would go, or the Prophet ﷺ with the Sahaba or the ulama, go back with the hair, the direction of the hair. If I have hair to the side, I would brush it towards the side. But I'll still get as much hair as I can. So we see this. Now you're saying what differentiates long hair from short hair? Is whatever you see long hair is. Maybe it's like this, maybe it's like this. Which even brings us to another thing. Is that right now when I have this type of hair, I'm trying to get as most of my hair as possible. But say for example I'm a girl, Or I'm like Ahmed back when he used to have the longer hair. I don't have to necessarily get every single part of my hair, because some girls have very long hair, so I don't have to. Rather, you just get where the head is, the head area, not entirely the entire hair. Now we go to the third category, which is what? When I'm wearing a scarf for a woman, or if I'm wearing a turban, a hatta, which many of us don't today, but a lot of people in many countries they do. The Prophet Muhammad is said that when he used to make wudu wearing his turban, which he used to wear it, very commonly, he would wash the forelock, or the front of the hair, and then with whatever water he had left on his hand, he would complete it over the turban, or over for the woman, the mandila, the scarf.
So does that go for a hat too?
Well, hat is not staying on your head. It's not tied to your head. So I wouldn't really see it in the same category, but I don't know. Can you pray with that hat?
Well, no.
But if it has the cap, how are you mix sujood?
No, I'm just asking that.
No, the reason why, because the mandila is wrapped around. The turban is wrapped around, so it's like it's a part of your head now. The cap is not really a part of your head. It's easily taken off and put it on. So that's for the hair. Let me think of anything else. Okay, and a part of the same movement of the hair, you're going to do what? Your ears. Now the description of how to do the ears is with your index finger, you're getting the inside, and with the thumb, you're getting the back. That's how you're doing the ears. Yeah, it's once. For your hair and your ear, it's once for that. That's the sunnah.
So is it once, like every time you're doing it once, or is it?
Yeah, like it's the same, almost the same motion.
I just didn't want you.
Yeah, it's almost the same motion that you're doing it in. Okay, and that's, I think, okay, that's it for the now.
You said that they have to clean the front of the hair.
That's, yeah, this cup, yeah, like for example, the woman.
You have to like a little bit from the hair from the front?
Which whatever they can from, now they have that little, whatever they can from that, then the rest, whatever water is left, maybe it's a lot, maybe it's a little bit, just try to go over whatever it is the head covering is.
What if they fall out?
I mean, if they want to take it off, I know like there's, especially like these type of mandilas today that they're like very easy to take off and put on. I mean, they're welcome to do that, that's up to them. Which you're even going to get to with the concept of wearing socks or not. Is that something that's better than not wearing socks, or is wearing socks, not wearing socks better than wearing socks when you're making wudu? We'll get to that later. So after the hair and the ear, the hair and the ears, what is next? It's the feet. It's the feet. And the feet is from what? Is from the very toes to the ankles. That's your foot. Even the heels underneath, on top, everything that's included in the feet. Now we're just going to talk about the barefoot. We're going to get later to the sock. And the barefoot, none of you guys are barefoot, so we're not going to really show anyone here. But it's literally just trying to get in between the toes as best as you can, so clean whatever is in there. And getting the full foot, top to bottom, in whatever way you can, making it completely wet. Now, when you completed wudu first in the day, then after that, you can put on a sock. Now the question is, after that point, is it better for me to take off my sock, then make wudu? Should I keep it on my socks? Is it better? Is it the same? Is it worse? What is the ruling? Now, there's no complete agreement in the scholars with this. However, there's an opinion by Imam Ahmad Hammoudeh that I like. Even though majority of the scholars, and Imam Shafi'i and Imam Abu Hanifa, they say it's better to go with the foot because that's the asl, that's the original standpoint, is to wash the bare feet. However, Imam Ahmad Hammoudeh, I like his opinion a little better. He says that it might even be better for you to wear socks for 3 reasons. The first is the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ says that never have I ever come across a matter, and both of them were halal, except that I would go with the easier one. Now I'm telling you, what is easier for you, to wipe over your sock or over your feet? Technically it's one time, it's convenient. We're constantly wearing socks and shoes, so it's easier for that. The second reason is to preserve the sunnah, because there are some people who completely neglect and completely put to the side wearing these socks. But the Prophet Muhammad allowed this. This is something that was in the sunnah. It was clearly being used during the time of the Prophet Muhammad. So by us holding on tightly to the sunnah, we are what? We are holding on to the sunnah. We're spreading it to our children. We're teaching them the sunnah. They're still holding on to that. And the last reason is that the Prophet Muhammad said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves the concessions that He gives to us. These little leeways, these little easy things. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves this. That He gives me and you an opportunity. So we're doing this. It can be the case that it's better, but the most correct opinion is that it doesn't matter. You do with your feet, you do with your socks, whatever you feel that is better, alhamdulillah, you do that. Now the rulings of the socks. Now we always heard, oh, can I make wudu with a hole in it? Can I not make when it's a hole in it? We hear these things 100,000 times. Now the research that I did suggests that the Prophet Muhammad didn't put no criteria onto it. So if I have a tiny hole, then it's fine. And in fact, this even makes sense. You're trying to tell me when the Sahaba were in battle, and they were wearing these socks that there wasn't a scratch or there wasn't a hole onto it. So how can we identify, because some scholars, they differentiate between the little holes and the big holes. The easiest way you can think of it is that if you look at your sock and it's still a sock, and a sock means what? It's wrapped around your foot, that when you're walking it's not, over there, it's still with you. This is still a sock. This is still okay. So as long as if it has one hole, two holes, I know we always make jokes about someone who has holes in their sock, but if it's still necessarily a sock, you can still wear it with your sneakers, it still travels with you, Assalamu alaikum, you can make wudu with it. Now the rulings are what? That the Prophet ﷺ says, 1 day and 1 night for those who are not traveling, meaning from the time I put on my sock, I have 24 hours, you can say if you want to make it simple, until I can't wear it anymore. I take it off, I make fresh wudu, and then I put on another sock. For the one that's traveling, it's 3 days. So SubhanAllah, we see how our religion is easy, because even I traveled a couple times, you guys traveled a couple times, sometimes, even though we try to change our socks, as frequently as possible, sometimes it's not that easy. So knowing that we have that extra point, it's good. As for the sock, I believe that should be it for the feet.
How about the shoes?
How do you wipe your sock? I heard. Don't you have to wipe your one foot with your one hand? And
Yeah. Okay, so that is something that some people say, okay, when I wipe my feet, should I do this? Wipe my hands? Should I do this, like you said? Now, I'm not saying that any of this is not true. I'm not saying anything that this is the right way. From what I researched, only using authentic sources, I didn't see a specific way to do it. From whatever my limited research was. Maybe there is something that says that you're supposed to do it this way or that way, but the general thing, the same way with the holes, there was no pinpoint from what I've seen. So if you guys see anything else, inshallah, we can easily learn that and spread it to the class. From what I've seen, I couldn't find it. I don't know.
I think Ibn Baz, he said that it's like it's more natural to do your ears like at the same time, and likewise your feet.
Okay.
Like you don't do your ear one and one, so yeah. But like I don't think there's I don't know.
The need for it.
Anything
Okay.
like
Well,
that.
together when you gotta.
Yeah, some people here, like Eunice, clearly don't stretch or anything, so
That's fine, like, you're not-
it's not going to be.
Between the toes.
No, that's like that one part.
It's definitely not invalid if you
Yeah.
do each one on its own.
But what is closer towards the sunnah, inshallah, we're going to have to do more research to find that one out. Now,
What about like short socks? So it's like
okay, yeah. Also the length, it's better for you to have, it has to pass your ankle. So whatever that necessitates, whatever type of sock you can, just try to make it go above the bone of the ankle. So whatever you see your ankle, try to make the sock go a little, to be over that. So that's a good question. Now for the wudu in general, some ahadith that are, profound, that are amazing from it, is the famous hadith that we mentioned many times where the Prophet ﷺ says, when a mu'min goes to make wudu, as he's washing his hands, all the sins he committed with his hands are what? Also washed away with the dirt. And when the mu'min is washing his mouth, what happens? All the sins from his mouth are erased from, are washed away with it. When the believer does it when he's washing his feet, all the sins that he walked to are also being washed away. So much so that when the mu'min completes his wudu, it is as if he has been forgiven of all his sins. And then we have another hadith of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. The same way we start our wudu with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, we end it with the Shahada. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad abduhu rasuluh. Whoever says this after the wudu, who knows what happens?
isn't the rest
That's something we're gonna, that's another narration. So it was even, but what is the reward for this person? For the one who says, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu Muhammad rasulullah?
The doors of Jannah, the 8 doors of Jannah.
The 8 doors of Jannah, the ones that we learned about last time, Jannah's 8 doors. The 8 doors of Jannah will be opened for him and he can enter from whatever one he wants. And then, as Abdurrahman said, we know that verse in Surah Al-Baqarah, وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُتَطَهِّرِينَ وَالتَّوَّابِينَ وَيُحِبُّ الْمُتَطَهِّرِينَ, that used to say in this, Oh Allah, make me from al-tawwabin and make me from al-mutahhirin. So we see that, even this dua was said here. Another hadith that the Prophet ﷺ says, whoever makes wudu as I have made wudu and then leaves out and prays 2 rak'at, he will be forgiven of all his sins. So we see how valuable this wudu is and how we have to hold on tightly to it and how it can, benefit us in so many ways. Something as simple as me washing my hands, I'm being forgiven of my sins. Me walking towards Salah, as I'm praying those 2 rak'at and I'm focused on the Salah and I just performed wudu as the sunnah way of doing it, I'm being forgiven of all my sins. As I'm saying Ashhadu an la, so the Shahada, we say this all the time. After saying this of the wudu, I have the 8 doors of Jannah open for me. So it's a great feeling, it's a great thing. So let's try to perfect it. And even, like I said, for the tips that we all need, try to limit the water. Try to, completely wet everything. Don't be lazy. The hair thing, try to get as much of your hair as possible, whatever category you're under. And this is what we can learn from wudu. If you guys have any questions, you can.
What if it's done out of order?
Okay, that's a very good point. I forgot that. Yes. According to the Sunnah, it should be done in the steps that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did it. Now, you reminded me of a question that I wanted to answer. Is how about if I forget one of the steps as I'm performing wudu? Or how about if I remembered, damn, I didn't wash my face in wudu. After I finished my wudu, what happens? Now, if I'm still in wudu, and I remembered, Ahmed, you didn't do your face. I'm looking in the mirror, my face is clearly dry. So I go back to my face, and I continue from everything after the face. Now say for example, I already walked away. I finished my feet, I didn't do my face. If the water is still dripping, as the scholars say, I'm still wet from the wudu, I can go back fast and do the same thing I just said. I start where I was, and I finish everything after that point. But if I left, and I dried myself, and I'm dry, and I'm going to Salah, and I'm completely dry, I forgot my face. Guess what? You're going back, and you're doing everything from the beginning. Also, another point, not just doing them in order is the sunnah, but doing them right after each other. There was someone who said that, oh, you can, wash your face and your hands, but then if you want to go to the masjid, so it's the same time. Ahmad knows what I'm talking about. You can go to the masjid later on and then wipe your feet and then go into the salah. No, you have to do them right after each other, in order, in that time frame that you're doing.
About washing off your shoes.
That's what I was gonna say.
Washing over your shoes, in fact, I'm not even going to say it's recommend. I'm not going to say wiping over the shoes. I'm going to say praying in shoes. Does it negate your wudu? No, because the Prophet used to even tell the Sahaba, don't be like the Jews and I believe the Christians who go and they pray and they take off the shoes. Rather, we can pray in our shoes as long as they are clean. Same thing with the socks. Make sure your socks are clean. They don't have no other stuff on them when you're doing something.
What if you're wearing socks, you do wudu and you take them off?
Okay, so if in the morning, for example, I made full wudu and I put on my socks and I didn't lose my wudu yet, then if I take them off, adi. But if I already lost my wudu and I already wiped over them, yes, if you take off your socks, then your wudu also is gone.
So if you do take off your
Yeah.
socks,
If you already wiped on them, yes.
So what if you put the socks on when you didn't have wudu?
I think like
Okay, you have to take them off and you have to make wudu.
I think it means like you did the wudu, you wiped, and then like you took them off. You lose it.
Yeah, you lose wudu.
Huh?
Yeah, you lose it. If you wiped over them, like you lost your
There's a
wudu.
difference.
There is?
Some say that you only wash your feet.
you only wash your feet.
Yeah, just your feet. Some say you repeat your wudu.
Okay.
All over.
It's a good. You had something you were saying?
I said if you didn't have wudu when you put it on, would you put on
Yeah,
the
when you
socks?
go to make wudu, you take them off.
Okay.
When somebody's on your head talking, having a convo, I think we'll do.
And
And
you
I
forget.
had another thing that
Yeah.
every step you got to there's a shahada,
Yeah.
like you wash your hands, say bismillah, I'm not 100%.
I mean, if you forgot, that's a whole exception. You're saying like, say if someone's on top of your head, and
No, like say you're like right here, for instance, somebody walked in on you, oh, how you been, how's everything, why are you making wudu, you know what I mean? You talk to him.
Yeah, you
talking while you're making wudu.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's no. You can talk while you're making wudu. There's nothing in that. There's nothing recorded. You can talk.
Oh, you can?
There's no that if you're talking you can't make wudu or anything like that. I think you start asking something else. But yeah, I never seen, even through this research that I did, that talking ever came up in anything. Even that's no.
I just had a quick question. Like, someone told me before you're not allowed to say like Allah in the bathroom.
We mentioned in the beginning that technically this is not a bathroom. Where we are right now is not a bathroom.
It's not.
Because we're not, the bathroom is what? The place where we use the bathroom. See how we have these dividers, so that I can say this is not right. Say for example, I'm in my traditional bathroom, we said that we don't even say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim or Aniyya out loud anyways. So on the bottom of my breath, by just moving my tongue, that's fine. Yeah. But never would there come the case where I'm saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim nawaitu an awaddi li. That's something we don't do anyway in the first place.
I wanted to mention one of the virtues of making wudu. The Prophet ﷺ, he came to Bilal, may Allah be pleased with him, and he said, Ya Bilal, I heard دفن عليك بين يدي الجنة. He said, I heard the tapping of your flip-flops or I guess flip-flops in Jannah between my hands. What is the best thing that you have done in Islam? ما هو أرجى عمل لك في الإسلام? The scholars, they say, or I'll get back to that after, but he said, Ya Rasulullah, I never made wudu, except that after that wudu, I would pray 2 rak'ahs. So then the scholars, they said, look at the virtue of that act, just making wudu and then praying. Then not only he went to Jannah, but even his flip-flops went to Jannah at the level where the Prophet, peace be upon him, is.
Can you explain that? Is that similar to wudu?
Yes.
You guys mentioned it in passing. Whoever doesn't know what that is, can you explain?
Yeah, so Bilal, he said that never did he lose his wudu, except that he would make wudu and then pray 2 rak'ahs, which is not as
You're saying the 2 rak'at, what are they? Like I mentioned the 2 rak'at.
Yeah.
Me and Ablution had this conversation before class. What I thought technically is that it's a separate prayer. Sunnat al-wudu is a separate prayer from these 2 rak'at. However, since, I don't know, like for example, say I make these wudu and I make 2 rak'at, but it's tahiyyat al-masjid, are they also included? I can't say yes or no, but technically yes, it's making wudu, having the intention that I'm praying these 2 rak'at to fulfill that hadith, to be a part of that hadith.
Yes.
That's
There was, I'm
Yeah,
forget.
but it's not.
It might have been.
It's not
your
the
father that
sunnah,
gave that.
like you're just saying the benefit of doing
You there?
that.
Yeah, the Prophet said praying
Both at the same time,
in general.
I know
Yeah.
one of them
The
was
whole story of bringing up the
Don't after praying after wudu.
Right.
Yeah, it is recommended.
You can get the intention of all three in the same surah.
It is sunnah. Why? Because Ahmed, he covered it in his class.
I don't remember.
But the
That's why I
definition of
didn't say
sunnah.
anything about it.
So he's asking, is it sunnah, since like Bilal used to do it, is it actually a sunnah to pray after wudu? The definition of sunnah is something the Prophet ﷺ did, or something he approved of, or something that he said. So him ﷺ approved definitely what Bilal or said,
Does anyone else have anything to add or to comment or to ask?
Also, the Prophet ﷺ, he said that he will know his ummah on the day of judgment by the glowing of wudu. And he said in that hadith that if you can extend your wudu, extend your wudu past what is recommended. And Uthman ibn Affan, he used to always love to extend his wudu. So not even to where his elbow is at, he used to even try to go even higher.
That's like that. Can we go over like what breaks your wudu, or is that the whole?
I mean, the common things that break the wudu that we all know is passing gas, using the bathroom. These, like we all know, like technically what passes the wudu.
Touching the female.
Touching the female with, That's not just,
handshake.
yeah.
No,
no,
there's
no,
as well.
No, that one not there yet. I don't think that one. But there's another. This is cleaning ourselves from the minor impurities, meaning using the bathroom, passing gas. But there's another thing that we have to do, maybe in the future, maybe even now for some of us, or maybe a lot of us might be doing it now, which is called ghusl, which is the cleaning yourself from the major impurities, and that's a whole different thing from wudu. And you could say it's a whole thing that we have to learn because we're shabab. Maybe we're going through something now. Maybe we're going to get married. We're going to have to start doing this. However often we need to do this, but it's something that we have to learn because you'll be surprised that if you're not pure in this major aspect, then how can you expect yourself to be benefiting in other things?
I have like a very important question. A lot of people face this. It's like making wudu in public. A lot of people like shy.
Oh, like in school or something.
Yeah, like they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
They try to like rush it and like bounce and all that stuff.
I mean, me personally, like if someone was to walk in, like when I'm in college, I'm using the bathroom, I'm making wudu, I really don't see it as something that very different. Like you're just washing your face, you're washing your mouth, you're washing your arms. The only thing really people have a problem with is putting their toes in the sink. But we said if you have your socks on, you're really not gonna really quick. Like no one's really gonna care and see you. And in reality, no one's really gonna look at you and say, "Yo, look at that! Yo, he had his feet in the sink." No one really cares. So
Just describe what you're doing. Tell me.
Exactly. I think that was actually a real story that happened, where a guy, he would go and in work he would hide, try to rush the wudu, and his boss would have seen him. Yeah, so his boss one day came in on him, and subhanAllah, the guy had his feet and toes right in the sink. And and was washing it, and his boss went nuts. He was like, yo, what are you doing? This is where we wash our face. So then the guy, he was like, with all respect, sir, my feet is cleaner than your face. So then this guy was like he was surprised. So then he started explaining, he's like, I don't mean this with any disrespect, but this is, I'm a Muslim, I clean my feet 5 times a day for prayer. He started explaining the religion, and this guy, subhanAllah, ended up accepting Islam. Just to show you how, and he just following the sunnah of the Prophet, peace be upon him, never puts you in trouble. And it may be a little hard and tough for people praying in public as well, but understand that if you're doing it for the sake of Allah sincerely, then inshallah.
Also, a lot of people say, how can I bring up the conversation of Islam or introducing it? What better way to introduce a topic than someone catching you with your feet in the sink or your arms in the sink? Like that gives you, what were you doing? That's easily a conversation starter. So like that even helps you in your terms of aiming to teach someone about Islam or bring news about Islam. That's like the best conversation opener. I believe if anyone else doesn't have any questions or any comments to say, we can conclude on this.